to me, it was very obvious that there was no consciousness of guilt on the part of either of them. And the proof of that came, and this was the final moment when I knew he was innocent for sure. Because remember, I've re-investigated the entire case. It's all a house of cards. It's the McQueary story is bullshit. All the motivations are there for this to be a moral panic and a rush to judgment and a witch hunt and all that. And so I asked Jerry and Dottie, they're sitting in the prison together. Dottie's with me on the other side of the screen. Jerry's in handcuffs in his orange suit. He can't even scratch his nose, really. And I asked Jerry first. I said, what was the first moment you started to think that this might not turn out okay for you? In other words, in this entire story, give me the moment when you first went, crap, I might be in big trouble. Now, if you're guilty, there's 1,000 data points in this story where you might say, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. But in my mind, there's only, especially if you're very religious, like Jerry and Dottie Sandusky are, in my mind, there was only one answer consistent with what I perceived of Jerry Sandusky if he was innocent. And he proceeds to tell me that the first moment he ever thought he might be in trouble was during the reading of the verdicts at his trial. And he's got a tear running down his cheek, which he can't even wipe away. He's talking about this in great detail. He's extremely credible. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty much the answer that I would have expected. But then Dottie, I asked her the same question, and in even greater detail, with even more tears running down her cheeks. She says it was the reading of the verdicts at trial. And then, just to make 1,000% sure, the moment I get out of prison, I get my cell phone. I call their attorney during the trial, Joe Amendola, who at the time I had a very good relationship with. I say, Joe, I just interviewed Jerry and Dottie in prison. I asked both of them, what was the first moment that they thought this might not turn out okay for them? What do you think they said? There was a pause on the phone, and he said, was it the reading of the verdicts? And I said, there you go. Because that's the answer as a religious person who believes that God or Jesus is going to save them from this. And then all of a sudden they're hearing the verdicts and they're going, what just happened? Because they know they're innocent. They believe in the system. They believe in a just God. They believe that some goodness is going to save them because they did nothing wrong. And it was at that moment that I knew, okay, Jerry Sandusky's innocent.